All right. Okay, welcome everyone to the Culinary Business Network Expert Connect Masterclass presented by Feed the Soul Foundation, the only network where you can connect, learn, and grow. You get to connect with like-minded culinary professionals, learn from industry experts, and grow your business all at your fingertips with our membership platform. I'm your host, Karina Fernandez, Program Director, Feed the Soul Foundation. Thank you again for joining us this lovely Monday afternoon. So today's masterclass is all about preparing and maximizing food truck sales. And this is for my food truck owners, my pop-up vendors, even my restaurateurs that have catering services that possibly do large festivals. And during these festivals and large scale events, there's a lot of strategy that goes behind it, which can be, these events can be one of the most lucrative opportunities for mobile food entrepreneurs. And so one of the main reasons why we wanted to have this conversation is because I've actually spoken to a few business owners that have successfully created these strategies to bring in more revenue for their business, and also taking the opportunity to speak to experts that do this, that help business owners like yourself create those strategies for large scale events. And someone who we wanted to have walk us through how to even leverage your menu and your team and that technology to boost those sales is let me bring up who I'm about to speak to. Joining us today is the man who has helped launch hundreds of mobile culinary dreams, and his journey actually spans from corporate sales to finance to even being a CFO of various restaurant groups to now helping others just like you build opportunities for entrepreneurs in the mobile food space. And so I want you to help me welcome the one, the only, Mr. Patrick. Oh, wait, the one, the only. We've coined him the food truck trailer king, Mr. Patrick Bolanos. Co-founder of the Trailer Kings, and I'm gonna bring him up on stage. I think I butchered your name, Patrick. I'm so sorry. Here you are.
It's all right. Thank you for having me. That was an awesome intro. Bolaños.
Bolaños, yes.
Chespirito. Just remember Roberto Gomez Bolaños. If you guys are Latinos, you know who Chespirito is.
Yes.
He's my uncle.
Okay.
He's not. He's not my uncle.
I know. I used to watch those shows when I was growing up, so it's very dear to my heart. But yes, Mr. Patrick, thank you for being here. I'm so excited to talk to you. I know we briefly met at our Global Culinary Conference last year, and everyone was so excited to see you. They're like, oh my God, he built my food truck, or hey, I follow him on Instagram. And so, what better person than the food truck king to have on this episode of, 5 ways. We're going to talk about 5 ways that you can boost your food truck sales, or even if you're a pop-up during those food festivals. So, Patrick, before I dive in, we always love to learn about who we're talking to and your journey, because I think some of our business owners have a very similar journey than you. You went from being a CFO, getting laid off a week before Christmas, y'all. Like, that's like, what? And then launching, your Trailer King Builders. So talk to us a little bit about that journey, because we are curious. Spill the tea. Tell us.
Yeah, well, thank you again, Karina, for having me. new entrepreneur, just like a lot of other people that are probably watching and listening, or they're just starting out their journey. I'm only 8 years into entrepreneurship.
Wow.
But it started out of necessity pretty much. So they say that, out of necessity, you can completely change your life. And that's exactly what happened to me. And you're exactly right. 1 week before Christmas, 2017, I got pretty much fired from the CFO position at a restaurant group. Ownership and myself didn't see eye to eye. Some things were happening. And at that point in my life, I wasn't prepared, let's say, or I wasn't at a point where I could get laid off. I was broke financially, spiritually, and it was a tough time. So it was I found myself in my car one day, and in that moment, I vowed that I would never let that happen again to my family. So I started doing the work. I had started doing the self-development work beforehand. And, I always go into this because this is what changed my life. It was practicing gratitude every single day, despite the challenges, despite the obstacles, despite whatever would be going on in my life. I would wake up every single day and just say thank you. If you believe in a higher power, I believe in Jesus Christ. And so I would say thank you every single day just for the opportunity, one, obviously to be alive, and then two, to learn, right? And so I guess that helped me start seeing opportunity. It helps see opportunity when when you're grateful for everything, even at the lowest, then everything is an opportunity. So I got the opportunity to sell trailers for another company. And that led to having a successful sales career in selling trailers to deciding to, you know what, I think we should do this. I think there's an opportunity here to do it ourselves, and let's control the process. Let's control the majority of the process so that we can help people get started in the mobile food game. That was 8 years ago. I think we've done over 40 plus million in sales since then, total.
Yes.
We've done over 1,200 to 1,500 projects during that time. We're not perfect. We dropped the ball. We are a company that's always learning. One of our core values is to be always learning, because we don't know everything, and something new always will pop up. So my entrepreneurship journey, I think, is just getting started. And I'm super grateful for the opportunity, especially to share with people that are going to continue their journey as entrepreneurs, as foodpreneurs. And
I like that. Foodpreneurs. I like that.
Yeah, it's a phrase that we've been using for a while. There's a lot of passion in people that do food, but and maybe they don't have all the core competencies. Like maybe they're not strong in finance. Maybe they're not strong as a leader. Maybe they're not strong. Or maybe they just don't most chefs or people that cook, they love making people happy. They like to see the results of their dishes when a family is sharing a meal and they're creating this happiness, right? So our job, we want to help create that for them, but also give them the tools to succeed as a business owner as well. So I cherish opportunities like this to share.
Yeah. And you brought up a really good point. A lot of us start these businesses out of necessity, or we've left corporate, or we've, been pushed to do it. But then there's this passion that happens, and then it matriculates to something bigger than ourselves. And that's what I kind of see in you, right? You had a background in sales, which has that helped in where you are now also? Because we take skills from other careers or other places that we've learned them and implement them in our current either business or even in our life. Is that kind of what happened to you too? Like the sales career that you had, and then the finance part also, is that similar to you?
Of course, absolutely. What happens in sales? You lose a lot in sales. You get told no a lot. Okay? You continue to go, right? You continue to go, and you become perseverant. And if you believe in the thing that you're selling, like all in, and you are truthfully trying to help others with what you're doing, you can be uber successful with any sales and in any sales scenario. And so for me, it took me 2 days to sell my first trailer when I was let go 8 years ago.
Wow.
So it was one, I saw the benefit, right? Anybody that comes through our door has a dream of owning a food truck. I mean, how cool is that? It's not even a sale. We just have to lead them to the right decision.
Right. Right.
So yeah, sales is huge. The finance aspect has been huge as well. But there's always something new to learn.
Yep.
Always.
Yep. I agree. And that's why we're here. So tell us about this picture. Who's this?
That's my beautiful family. We're a family of 6. That's a little while ago. I'm like 20 pounds lighter there. My daughter.
The camera puts on some weight.
And that's one of the I think that's one of 4 or one of 5 food trucks we did for Lupe Tortilla, which we're super proud of. We haven't built all the trucks, but you know, when a company like that chooses your business to do a build out for them, you feel like you've made it. Right. And we got chosen 3 or 4 times to do it. We haven't been chosen all the times, but we came through and we delivered. So that picture is very dear to me because you have my family and you have a food truck in the background. Yeah, so I love it.
Awesome. And then I'm going to put up another one because I love.
Oh my God. Where did you get that?
I found it online. No, I love this, right? This is your team literally at work building someone's dream, right? And what better picture to show the audience than this of, you know.
That's our second location.
What? Second?
Well, the first one was we started in the front yard of a small house in Houston.
Oh, wow.
For a small amount of time. It was only like 3 months. Then we graduated into this location. So it was our first location. First real business location was an open lot. As you can tell, all the projects are outdoors. Our team would work in all the Houston elements at all times. If it was raining, it was heat, in the cold. Man, we did a lot of projects from that location. And I can see 3 of the guys that are working there. So this is a really cool picture. Thank you for sharing it. Yeah. We grew a lot at that location. Like we learned, we were getting things done there.
Right.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that picture. That's
yeah. Really cool. No, I love seeing this because it shows you the rawness of how, you know, your business functions, right? You're literally building food trucks and you could clearly see where it's done. And then tell me, I think I have another one. I think I have this one. Yes, this one. Is this a client? That's
a client out of Dallas. They're a family that sells Mexican food in tacos. Los Tres Hermanos Regios, I believe.
Okay.
3 brothers Regios in English. 3 brothers Regios. And they sell Regio style tacos. If you're not familiar with Regio style tacos are, it's just a type of taco style from the Regio area, which I think is Monterrey.
Got it.
And the way they make their pastor is different than everywhere else.
Got it.
And it's amazing. And there's a few of them in Houston. That one's in Dallas. That client is in Dallas. That's their second trailer. It's a 22-foot, fully loaded.
It's huge.
It's like $80,000 investment for them.
Wow. What I wanted to point out, because, you know, we're all about strategy. We're all about increasing efficiencies and operations. I see a digital menu. Is that something that you recommend having installed in a food truck? Is like a TV like that?
I do recommend it if you position it correctly, because the TVs that we could use will fight the glare from the sun in the daytime. So you need a specialized screen.
Awning?
Either an awning or a specialized screen which they build. They're called menu screens for outdoor purposes, where it's lit up 100% of the time. Sometimes it might not be financially feasible to go that high of an investment for a food truck, but definitely have a A-frame, your menu somewhere close by, so customers can see exactly what you serve, and you don't spend so much time figuring out what to get.
Got it. I was thinking on the basis of, what if your menu changes, and then you have the vinyl menu on your truck, and your menu changes, and now you have to spend more money on changing out the vinyl. And so
that's a great point.
For me, it's like, do digital menus make more sense in the when you're looking at cost? Yes, at the front end it is an investment, but in the long term, is it beneficial? But let me switch gears. I'm going to ask you, because we'll get 2 more questions about you, and then we'll dive into the actual strategy. So what has been the most rewarding part of being an entrepreneur and seeing how you literally built something from nothing, and you're building other people's dreams? What's the most rewarding part?
One, I mean, I'm getting to work with so many families and getting to meet so many hard working individuals, especially during 2020, which a lot of people that came to us were being furloughed, were being let go. So one of the things that we love to do is learn about the families, the history, what they're doing. And I'll give you an example. We have a client of ours back then. His name is Carlos, and he's got a business called 7 Seeds. And I always tell this story because I relate to it so much. He was let go from a corporate job, and his passion was to barbecue. And he decided to start a barbecue business called 7 Seeds. And then like, why did you call it 7 Seeds? He's like, because I have 7 kids.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. So that part is, super fulfilling. Learning the background, when you help families and learning why. We had customers who were handed down recipes from their moms or grandmothers, and then they put their grandmother's pictures on the trailer or food truck. And I think that's one of the most fulfilling parts, is learning and getting to meet so many small business owners.
Yeah. And then let's talk about resilience, because you had previously, in another podcast that I was listening to, you said you were going to shut down during the pandemic. Is that right?
We didn't know.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know that everybody had to shut down, right?
That's true.
Everybody at the beginning had to close their doors. We did not close our doors. We went directly to the health department, and that following morning, we went straight to the health department. We spoke to a health inspector, and we said, hey, this is what we do. And then he said, okay, well, here's a letter. You guys are an essential business. Make sure everybody that works in your business is riding around with this letter inside their vehicle. And then we stayed open.
Wow. Because the building of a food truck, that doesn't stop.
No,
your business doesn't stop. Like,
exactly.
Wow. And, that's really, really a testament to you, like, for I'm not going to take no for an answer, and I'm going to figure out a way to stay open. And I love that. That is so awesome. And what are some things, before we get into some of the strategies, you build from nothing to, you do rebuilds, and then you also build from scratch. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what are 2 or 3 things you wish every aspiring food truck entrepreneur or business owner knew before launching? Like, if you could, before they get to you, right? What advice, or what 2 or 3 things would you tell them, either to get ready or to set an expectation before they come to you?
It's funny. I was teaching a class yesterday on food entrepreneurship for potential food truck owners.
Yeah.
And I convinced them not to do it pretty much. Are you sure you want to do this? Because it's the hardest thing that you're ever going to do. You're on your feet all day. It's a confined space and people are going to complain about something and your generator might give out or your refrigerator might give out and you're at an event and you're not a restaurant. So what do you do then? So for me, this is the hardest food business to do.
100% agree.
To start. And so I would tell them, one of the first things I say is, are you sure you're ready for what is coming? Because it's going to be really, really hard. We could discuss technicalities all day. I'll discuss the layout of your truck. Oh yeah, put an oven there, put a refrigerator there, put something so self-serve for your customers.
Right.
But it's not going to prepare them for the suffering that they're going to go through when something goes wrong.
Right.
So for me, my basis for them, and I wish everybody would do, is work on self-development and your mindset, because that's what's going to help you get through the day-to-day. And you got to get ready, because it's not a question of if it will happen. It's a question of when, and you're going to lose more than you win. So that's how and everybody was like, don't you want to sell us a trailer? I was like, no, I don't. I want to be.
I want you to be, I'm telling you this because I want you to be successful. I want your dream to be what you want it to. No, I agree with you on the sense that food trucks is a very difficult industry to go in. But if you do it right, and if you have the right support, and if you have that right ecosystem behind you, which is exactly why we're having this conversation, and is exactly why the foundation exists, is because we want you to succeed. And you were talking about, being on your feet. We've had food truck owners that their generators get stolen. What do you do? What do you do then? Not getting the right permits, getting your food truck stolen. What do you do? Exactly. How do you even begin to comprehend some of these things? And so how do we prepare you to be proactive in making sure that your business is successful, both ready to grow and become sustainable? So with that, we're going to literally jump into why we're here.
Can I add one more thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
The second thing because you said 2 or 3 things, right? That was one thing. But the second thing that I want people to come in with is understanding that a food truck or any food business, but especially a food truck, is going to succeed as much as you invest in marketing and branding. Because that is what's going to drive sales. Sales is the lifeline of your business, and the only way to drive revenue, drive sales, is for people to know who you are and that you exist and that you're open. And the way to do that is through marketing and branding.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't do that. And a lot of food truckers are scared to get online. Oh no, I'm afraid what people are going to say if I post a video on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. Forget about what people are going to say. Dave's Hot Chicken just sold for $1 billion because they decided to go viral. Like, they put everything on social media.
Right.
So understand social media marketing and branding from the start.
Yes. Agreed. 100%. More than 1,000% agree. Because one, you're mobile. Sure, you can park yourself on the side of the road at a gas station and you get that natural foot traffic, but is that even enough, right? Why not, like we're suggesting, why not leverage food festivals? Why not do large scale events? And then let me show you how to do that, right? Oh, yeah. And then let me show you how to do that, right?
Love events.
It brings me to this strategy. We know launching the food truck is a dream for many, and it could be a necessity for some. And that's why we want to better prepare you. So what is the biggest difference in operations between, first, let's understand, right, the biggest difference between regular service and food festivals, and why do so many trucks either win big or they lose big, right, during these types of events. So walk us through what the difference is between regular service and a food festival?
I would say the biggest differences are going to be your demand times are going to be consistent through the festival if it's done right. You're not going to have time to sit and wait, and there's going to be no downtime if it's a good festival.
Right.
Whereas a day-to-day operations, there won't be any customers between 2:00 and 5:00.
Right.
So you'll have time to, sip on your coffee and start, But at a festival, if you're there for a good festival, 8-hour festival, it should be nonstop.
Right.
And you will be nonstop from the start. So prep is important.
Yes.
You have to prep.
I'm gonna put something up on the screen now. This is a great example of what a good festival should look like. Now, I have been to festivals where you have 5 or 6 food trucks, and they're it's minuscule people, or they have pop-up food vendors. So also making sure you ask the right questions when you're onboarding onto these food festivals. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but asking, what type of cuisines are they, selling? Is it similar to yours, or is it all just food trucks, right? I think those are a little bit. And how many people do you anticipate? I know we've had unfortunate the losing big. We've had unfortunate situations where they come prepared for like thousands of attendees, and they only sell 5 or 6 plates. Oh, that is hurtful, right? Totally. So what recommendations do you, other than the ones I've mentioned, is there anything else these owners should be asking when they're onboarding or choosing, right? Because you get to pick and choose what festivals or large events you want to participate in.
Absolutely. One of the first questions I would ask is how many times they've been doing it, right? Is this the first, 4th, 5th, 10th year that you've been doing this? And then do a little research on the historical. Easy to look on Facebook pages or Instagram, just like Karina did her research on me. Go research on the festival. Figure out how long it's been put together. You can see how many people show up or don't show up. Figure out what the weather looks like that week, because the weather is going to impact what happens during that event. And if the weather is not helpful, you can almost guarantee that you're not going to have a successful event. So there's always things to look at that can lead you in the right direction. Somebody wanting to, and taking deposits for events, big events. That's a good one. It's customary, but for example, when I was a CFO of a restaurant group, we did ACL in Austin. It's one of the biggest music festivals in the U.S.
Right.
And it cost us $25,000 to be at ACL, but we did $125,000 in sales. So there's always going to be a pros and cons to everything. Right. So if someone is asking you for a deposit, you got to do your research on the volume of work and people that are going to be there and how it operates, because we were operating from a tent setup, and they had reefer units, and we didn't have to go anywhere if we needed to restock. That allowed us to get to that 6-figure sales in 2 weekends.
Right. And I love that you brought that up, because there's so many different setups that you can have or you can request depending on the event planners. I know you can physically have your truck, like we saw in the picture. You can have a tent, even though you are a food truck owner. Because you have that permit, you're allowed to serve food. Or if you're a private caterer or restaurant, because you have that certificate, you can also participate in those large scale events under like a tent or something. So I'm going to just briefly go over the 5 ways that we have determined that can boost your sales. And then Patrick, I want you to break them down one by one. So the first one we want to talk about, I'll mention all 5 and then we'll break it down. So one way is efficient truck design. Second one is streamlining your kitchen. third one is simplifying your menu. Your fourth is pre-festival prep and staffing. And then the fifth one I think is important too is equipment and tech upgrades. So let's dive into the first one. One way, right, is efficient truck design. How does the layout of your truck directly impact the speed and the profitability during these high volume events? What features? Yeah, go ahead.
If the layout is not properly set up, you don't want to have, because you're going to have people working in there and you don't want them bumping into each other and running into each other, dropping things and making it chaotic. The kitchen has to flow. And in a food truck, it flows in a circle, right? So you want it to always be moving towards an area or moving back towards an area, but in a circle. So you have to think about that layout. If you're going to have a flat top griddle and you need to prepare tacos on it, and there's a sandwich prep right behind it, okay, then you know that's their domain. He's the taco guy. He preps the tacos, hands it off, maybe somebody behind him or does it himself and does the toppings, et cetera, and then hands it to the left, either towards a window or towards a cashier, et cetera. So design work is super important, especially in high volume events. It's going to get critical. It's going to get hot. And then so being able to move efficiently within that trailer and within that truck is essential.
Got it. And I have a picture on here that shows that design, an example that Patrick provided. So are there any other features that you always recommend when you're designing the layout? Now, they might have already, is there like quick fixes, right? I know that sometimes their trucks are already designed, but are there any like module things? I think I've seen some module things that you can kind of move around the truck that makes it a little bit more efficient, like a food prep area, say, was in the back and you want to bring it to the front. Does that exist?
You know, you can always convert areas into prep areas, either by buying cutting boards or having cutting boards, extra cutting boards in the food truck. Most 3-comp sinks can be converted into prep areas by buying a specific size cutting board that fits right on top of the sink.
Got it.
That'll help you keep the prep area. You don't want your prep area right by the cooking area. And at large events, you want to do most of the prepping before the event. You want to just be executing on the kitchen and cooking. So we're going to talk about technology, but a KDS system would help flows the orders that are coming in, a line breaker POS to help break those lines and take orders and that kind of stuff. So technology and kitchen layout, I think, go hand in hand.
Hand in hand. Got it. So our next way to boost is like you talked about, streamlining your kitchen to window system. So if you don't have what did you call it? A KWS?
KDS. Yeah.
What's
kitchen
the
display?
Kitchen display system. Okay. What if you don't have a kitchen display system right now? What are some
Get ready to rock.
How much are they? Where do you put them? And do you recommend any?
Sometimes they're free with the POS company that provides the POS.
Okay.
So, but it's for high volume. Like, you know, at a restaurant, they have them inside the kitchens because they see the orders come in. Yeah, it prints out, like you'll have a kitchen printer and you'll have the orders and then you'll have the ticket holder, you know, but what the cooks are doing is they're grabbing a ticket holder, setting it down, and they start prepping. Then they can see what comes next, or they can start getting ready for what's coming next.
Right.
With the KDS. That's all that does. But if you don't have a KDS, you better have a system to take orders. And, you know, when I was running our Everbowl food truck and we were at an event and we got slammed, we stopped. I would take the orders and then write them down on a receipt. And we had a code for each one. Like, I didn't write out the full-blown menu, like, this is it. This is it. You know, we had a code system already pre-designed for that event, and we knew that 1 CS meant something, right? 2 XM meant something. And so we only had 4 or 5 codes. That's all we used. We had a simplified menu, which I know is coming up next, or one of them. Yeah. And that helped us because I didn't spend a lot of time having to write down the entire order. It was really quick. I knew exactly when they said what they wanted, boom, 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 boom. And our kitchen POS system would print out the entire order. So I couldn't prevent that. But that was a detail for the person that was preparing it for it to, but I would then check off, because when you have 100 orders and people have to wait 30 seconds, a minute, how do you identify who you have to give it to?
Right.
You have to have a name, you have to have a number, you have to have something, right? So,
or just to call out, oye, Juanito, your tacos de res are ready.
You want your kitchen to start. Yeah. So there was
right.
There's always a system. There's always a prep. So you have to strategize.
Yes. So one quick strategy that I learned from a food truck owner that does large festivals like this, and tell me if this is a good idea, especially now, this is in a tent, because a tent, you can have more people taking orders, right? And you can streamline a lot more of the back of house into the service line. But in a food truck, you obviously have how many staff in, what would you say, how many cooks in the food truck would you say you would have?
Average size food truck, you could probably have 3 to 4, larger 6.
Okay, so there are 3 people, let's say 4 people in the food truck, but in the front of the line taking orders. And this is what she said. She said, this is what we did. Yes, we had a simplified menu. Hey, we had 3 or 4 items. We would only take 5 tickets at a time. We'll keep taking tickets, right? But we would only send 5 tickets at a time to the kitchen to not overwhelm them. And so they would be pushing out 5 at a time. Is that a good strategy?
I mean, it's a system that could work. Absolutely. Yeah, I can see why somebody would want to do 5 at a time. But if you wanted to kill that line or bust up that line and take the orders, what if they stop waiting and they go somewhere else? You know, I'd rather take the order and then figure it out. But I'm a risk taker, and that's my personality. Yeah. Like I thrive in chaos. I don't know.
Yeah, because look, we put, we had this image on the screen, right? And it's a lot to, I mean, this for me would be overwhelming, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh crap, me as a cook, I'm seeing these lines and I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? What other things, like, how do you set expectations to your cooks as well when you are doing these types of large events?
Well, hopefully you're paying them well, and you're sharing the tips, because everybody's going to be getting their butt kicked that day. Everybody.
That's true. That's true. Very true.
And everybody's got to know it's going to be all hands on deck for the day. Like if somebody needs to run somewhere to get something, you're going.
Right.
I don't care if it's not your job, it's not your duty. If I have to go run somewhere and get it done, we get it done, right? I think those events, even though they're chaotic or high stress environment, when you get done, there's nothing better. There's not a better feeling when you crushed it at an event. And I've been a part of events. Like I build food trucks for people now, but I've been in the restaurant industry. I worked ACL 2 days in a row. As a CFO of the restaurant, I was working ACL. That's how part of the prepping works. Like the CFO was there selling in the tent.
Right. So you and I had this conversation, and I want to bring up this point is, just because you see these long lines doesn't really mean that they're making money, because you could be losing money, right? Because people are standing in line and they might leave because they're they're tired of waiting. I mean, I've heard of, 2-hour wait lines for some food. Who wants to wait 2 hours for a quesadilla or a burger, right? Nobody. So what other ways can, business owners really boost their sales and be more strategic? And let's switch to, what do they have to do with their menu? What do they come and have their entire 15 menu item at this food festival?
Absolutely not. I mean, if any menu item takes 10, 15 minutes to make, you got to scratch it from your menu. Even if it's the most profitable item on your menu and you love it and people love it, figure out a way to make it in 2 minutes,
right?
In less than a minute. So your menu items, will dictate how well you do that day. Absolutely.
How many menu items do you recommend is the sweet spot for, let's say, like an ACL? What is?
I'll tell you exactly how many items we had. 3.
Nice.
On one side, it was beef skewers, chicken skewers, vegetable skewers, and a side of mac and cheese balls. That was it. 4 items.
No beverage, no nothing. Just
nothing.
Those 4 items.
With the beverages, get the beverages somewhere else.
Perfect.
It was a $20 skewer. It was a $20. It was a $15 mac and cheese ball, like the size of. Yeah. And everything was pre-prepped. So, for example, our chefs did a fantastic job preparing for that event during that time because they understood the process. They pre-cooked all the skewers to a certain temperature, stored them, and when you got to the event, everything was pre-cooked to a certain temp, and all you had to do was kill it off on the char grill. And so we had a line, but people were getting their items instantly. Oh, like somebody was there. I want 2 beef skewers and an order of mac and cheese balls. They were ready. Boom, boom, boom. Here you go.
Got it.
Out the door. And we had the proper equipment. We had the proper cooking equipment, storage equipment to keep them hot, to keep them ready. And the line just kept on
moving.
Nice. And people were getting their items instantly. They didn't have to wait.
So I heard a lot of really good stuff there. I heard simplified menu. The sweet spot is 3 to 4 items. If you can, pre-make as much as possible, and then have the finishing the day of, whether it's a char grilled or it's a fry or frying something, or of course baking. No baking. Baking pre-bake. Exactly. Which definitely will, that offering of that small menu can help with increasing the profitability because you're moving customers along, and customer satisfaction, that they don't have to wait as long as the next business over. So speaking of prepping, how tedious or how much should you invest in the prepping of these types of large scale events, and what type of staffing do you need? Do you need to overstaff when you're looking at large events like this, or do you think a regular staff can handle something like this?
Let me tell you how the owners painted that staffing of the event that we knew was going to be killer. We were volunteers. We volunteered to be there because we got into ACL pretty much. So
that's an incentive, right, for your staff. Hey, come work, come volunteer. You get to, we'll
get you in. Work 4 hours, work 5 hours, and then you're free to go. You're free to wander the grounds. And so, it was a pretty good culture of teamwork, and people wanted to help out. And there were people there that were getting paid, obviously, like the chefs and the servers, etc. But then there was a lot of other people that was just there volunteering to help out. Right. So absolutely, you have to be ready, right? So think about how maybe friends and family, reach out. Hey, I want to need some help this weekend. You think you can come out 4 hours? Maybe we'll pay you with a meal, and you can hang out and you can check out the event. So don't underestimate the the importance of the teams that you're going to need that day.
And what type of systems separate top performers from the rest, right? Like, what strategies for the prep side do business owners need to understand in terms of creating those systems before they even get to the food festival? And what data-driven tips would you recommend? We did talk about, how do you plan accordingly to have enough inventory for something like that? I agree. Once you simplify your menu, you can kind of strategize a little better. But what systems, in your experience, whether it's technology systems, pre-prepping, or staffing structure, in your experience, would you recommend when you're planning for something like this?
Have you ever seen the movie The Founder?
Yes, yes.
And the part
the
of
McDonald's.
The speedy system. They went to the basketball court or tennis court and they designed the system there, and he went out there and moved it, and then he perfected it. That's exactly how it is for a kitchen to operate and to move around efficiently. You have to start thinking about how you're going to be. Like, okay, how big is my tent? Where am I going to put my stuff? Where are my team members going to be? And then the prepping is, okay, this is my menu items. These are the 3 menu items. How long does it take to make a beef skewer from scratch? Well, it takes 20 minutes each, or for a batch of 20 or for a batch of 50. Wow, that's not enough time. All right. So what can we do to cut down the times of our menu items? What can we do ahead of time? 2 days in advance, 3 days in advance. We were prepping a week and a half in advance for that event, for that weekend. And that was volunteer work too. Cutting. Hey, who wants to volunteer to cut 1,000 pounds of beef? Yeah, we'll do it. We were just hanging out, cutting and prepping and getting prepped for that event. And
then how do you financially? Yeah, no, that's a really good point. And I can see you cutting up the beef right now. But how do you also financially plan for big events like this, right? Because one, it takes a lot of inventory. You have to pay staff, and then you talked about some of those fees or deposits that you have to, give either the event organizers to hold your spot. How do you, from your experience, how do you financially plan for something like that?
It could be risky, right? I have a customer in Chicago who's doing a big event next weekend, and he knows he's got to buy a ton of food. So negotiate credit terms with your suppliers. If you don't have 30-day credit terms, negotiate credit terms. Make sure your menu items that you're going to bring, even though they're maybe easy or that you're cutting it down, but you can reuse again, like when you open the following day or 2 days afterwards, if you have some left over. Or start thinking about what you're going to do if the event doesn't go that well. Maybe you got to go throw everything in a gumbo and start selling gumbo. You know what I mean? So those are things that I would think of when preparing for an event. And financially, do not overextend yourself if you know that this is going to put you in
a hole.
It's good. It's good to take risks,
right?
And it's good to go all in and do it. But you can prepare, right? You can start asking everything we've discussed earlier today. You can start prepping, and by asking the right questions, by figuring out what volume of people are going to be there, by looking at the weather. Most events, large events, they make you use their POS system, so you don't even have to worry about POS.
Oh, right. Wait, so how does that work? So they take on the sale, then they pay you?
Mm-hmm. So they create like an entity in their environment. And they give you the POS system, and it's their system, and they get paid, and then they pay you.
And they pay all the fees?
No. We, for example, at ACL, before you go, you had to cut a check for $25,000. Ooh. Oh, do they pay all the credit card fees? I believe it comes off of your end, or it comes off because essentially they're giving you everything except for the fee that you paid to be there.
They're giving you everything.
All the sales minus sales tax. They'll do the sales tax.
So they'll do the sales tax. They'll do the credit card processing fees.
They'll take, and so you'll receive your net sale.
Got it. Yeah.
From
So
all
then,
the,
yes. So yeah. Okay.
yeah, because you
Wow.
already paid them 25 grand. Everybody that was there paid
Right.
them 25 grand.
Right. So what is the ROI, right? Like, so you're paying $25,000, but you said you made what, 125,
125
and
food
then
cost,
minus expenses, your food
minus the
costs, your
food cost and
labor.
your labor. So they netted 50 grand in a weekend.
Wow. Yeah. No, that is pretty good.
Not bad, huh?
Uh, that's not bad. That's not bad. We have had some of our business owners like at Lollapalooza, and she literally loves doing food festivals because that's her moneymaker.
Yeah.
And she does it so well. And you can make, then this is why I was saying it's very lucrative, because you can make in 3 days or in 2 days what you would make in like a year for some. And so that's why we really like to have these conversations, because we're all about you making money, right?
Yeah.
So the last kind of way to boost your sales is equipment and technology upgrades. We know that you can be a very savvy business owner if you leverage technology in the right way. And so, what tools do you recommend to be food festival ready? And what should food truck owners be investing in to be more efficient?
Yeah. There's tons, right? There's a lot of stuff coming out right now, especially with AI and everything that's happening in the technology world. But if you're at a high volume event and technology is going to help you boost your sales, I would definitely have a system to break up those lines, take orders. If we were at an event once and we saw these self-serving kiosks where people just come up to it and they place their own order.
Yep.
That looked like it was working really well.
Okay. I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
So that technology, which is out, self-serving kiosks, that'll help you cut down your costs because you don't have to have somebody taking orders or, and then it also sends the order into your system and you print it out and you have it ready. And then all you have to do is focus on delivery and cooking and delivery. So those are the things that I would consider. But most of these high volume events, when it comes to like technology, they're going to provide you with their technology. They want to control the environment, the wholesale environment.
Got it. And is
like Lollapalooza and ACL. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's the trend right now, is that the event organizers actually give you the POS system. Got it. And if they don't, then you can control your own system. And in that, you would recommend. I have seen those kiosks. I think I've also seen where they take your order and they give you like a text. But again, I mean, I don't know how efficient those are to notify you. And then what if you don't have good cell service, because it's so jam-packed with people sometimes, definitely testing out those things is tried and true processes. I'm going to put up a video because I want you to kind of walk us through what this one was. Where was it? Where did it go? Is it this one? Here it is. Where was this one? Remove. I brought it onto the stage again.
This was at a festival here in Houston called the Umami Festival.
Okay.
So we had a trailer there showing people what our trailers look like. They had a lot of tents. A couple of our customers were there. This is very early during the event because I was there all day, but people had not really gotten to the locations yet. But it was an awesome event. A lot of great food. Everybody, was having a great time. There was music, dancing. Umami Festival. I think it happens every year.
So I have a question, because you showed a lot of different setups on here. There was the tent, there was the hot plates, and then there was a food truck, and then someone was in front with a table. Let me see. Let me see this one again. What do you think is most efficient in terms of when you're doing right here? See how oops, it is a food truck.
Oh, they all had, the majority had tables where they were taking the orders, because you don't want, you want to help dissipate the lines. So you want to take your orders quickly. And it's really hard to hear sometimes when the kitchen's going really, really fast.
Yeah.
And flanking behind you. So if you set up a table outside, the conversations flow a lot smoother.
So is this this is the setup that you would recommend when there's high volume? Now, if you had the choice, right, if the organizers say, hey, you can either have your food truck or you can set up a tent, what do you, from your experience, what is most efficient? Is it having your full food truck or planning for a tent where you have more space?
So that's a great question. Depends on what you serve and if you have the equipment, right? Because if you're going to fry things, then you don't have the fryers. But if you're like a lemonade stand, well, maybe you don't need your trailer. You just, you bring everything and you operate from there. So it'll depend on what you have to operate your business.
Right.
I mean, you got the truck for a reason, right? So if you have it, you better use it.
Right. Because you're paying for it. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So, have you seen other patterns in current food festivals of any other types of efficiencies for food trucks or even pop-ups? Have you seen, we talked about some of the kiosks and then the way they break up lines. Is there anything else out there that you can spill the tea on what what people are doing to be more efficient?
I don't know. I saw a robot operated food truck or trailer. And
yes,
I'm not sure how the good that's going to be, but I know that thing's coming and it's going to come quick. I don't know how quick, but if a robot can make a burger,
that's true.
It's going to change the game.
Yeah, I've actually seen the robot coffee machine and the robot cocktail machine. I haven't seen one that does food yet, but
you haven't seen the pizza one?
I think I saw not in person. I've seen like the ones I'm talking about is it's
like a pizza vending machine, but that makes the pizza like
and the arm is just moving.
Yeah, in real time, and it's boom, 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 boom.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one because think about literally the ROI on that one. I wonder how many can it pump out at a festival? You saw it at a festival?
No, I didn't see that one at a festival.
Okay.
It's like a vending machine.
Yes.
But it actually cooks in real time because there's vending machines out there that have pre-cooked meals inside of them. There's a salad vending machine that prepares salads in real time as well.
I've seen that one. Yes.
So that kind of stuff is coming. That kind of stuff is coming. But I'm a people person, and I think food is driven by happiness, and people, just put love into their menus. So. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to translate that into the food world. Right.
You would need a lot of robots for sure. Serving up at a certain time or literally conveyor belts just going boop, 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 boop. But it is exciting, right? It is exciting. I don't know. What are you most excited about that's coming? Because, technology's ever evolving exponentially. And in this world, in the food truck world, what is something that you're excited for?
I'm excited to see how AI plays into everything that's happening. A lot of people are using AI for their marketing. They're using AI for their, for creating their content. But I'm looking forward to AI providing like data-driven results. Yes. For example, hey, this area in the Houston area has high traffic volume, and it is perfect for people buying or people consume X amount of burgers in this little zip code.
Right.
You should go with your food truck to this area. I don't know how that would happen, but
yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a really good point. I have
like,
one more.
Like creating heat maps of where you should go, like a heat map of, hey, you should be here. Kind of like Uber does when they are spiking their sales because there's a lot of demand.
True.
Like, how do we drive a truck to the high demand areas using AI?
True. No, I love that. And we're all about being data driven. And I'm excited too about all the technology that we're about to see. And like you said, it's going to happen fast, really fast. I have one more picture that I kind of wanted to bring onto the stage. This is, who is this? Everybowl.
This is our food truck in 2022. That is our soft opening for Everbowl food truck in a food truck park here in Houston.
Got it. I wanted to show the A-frame because you spoke earlier about making sure that there is an A-frame with your menu items or some type of communication during festivals, because it allows the consumer to see ahead of time your menu. And then people in the back can say, okay, yeah, I want that. Does that help facilitate some of that ordering flow?
Absolutely. And like you said earlier, you can tell we don't have any prices we don't have the menu on our truck. Yes. Why? Because the menu changes. So we have A-frames. All you have to do is print it out and put it in there.
Got it. So yeah, I was talking, and why I wanted to make the point about those digital menus is that you can actually leverage those digital menus not only for your to easily change out your menu items, but also you could put marketing pieces on there like, hey, join us this Friday at Autry Park. We're gonna be doing salsa dancing or whatever, and that's perfect opportunities for food truck owners to leverage those same customers to become repeat customers. And so that's why I really like the digital menus, the ease of them. But like you said, it is an investment for sure for some. And then just to recap, literally, we talked about 5 awesome ways to boost your food truck sales. We talked about efficient truck design. If you want to revamp your truck, hey, reach out to Patrick. If you want to streamline your kitchen, use those kitchen display systems. I know Toast has a really good one. If you're with another POS system, Patrick can probably guide you on where to find a better one. And then simplified menus. There's nothing like, being simple and straight to the point creates more profitability for you and your staff. And then making sure that you prep properly, efficiently, staff efficiently. If you need volunteers, Patrick will volunteer for you. No, I'm just kidding. Ask your family, your friends. And then also the equipment and the tech that you can leverage as well. And Patrick, you brought up a great point. You cannot be in the food truck space and be profitable without making sure that your branding and your marketing, that you make those investments in those 2 things. And so, Patrick, thank you so much for sharing your insights and your journey. We love hearing stories like yours, and literally the way you've gone from sales and finance and a CFO and into your own CEO and CFO, and those opportunities. Your perspective really does bring a lot of clarity in an industry where we feel like every margin and every dollar counts.
Oh yeah.
We know that pain, and so how can we as a foundation continue to provide value and help you become more sustainable? Any final thoughts, Patrick, that you want to say to our wonderful audience, whether it's about the entrepreneurship journey or food trucks? Any final thoughts?
Karina, thank you so much for the opportunity to share my thoughts. Just always be learning and never quit, because you can't lose if you don't quit. So
Yes.
it's going to get hard.
Yep.
Just keep going.
Yep. And keep learning, right? That's what we say too. And that's why people are watching this. So actually, I have one last question.
Sure.
I love to ask this to everyone. What food, spice, or anything that you are currently obsessed with, right? Is there anything that you're currently obsessed with? Either food, a spice, a herb, a drink, anything?
There's this taco place. This is amazing.
Okay.
By the shop. It's called Tacos Doña Elena.
Oh, yes.
You know them?
Yes.
Oof. They have the best pastor quesadilla in Houston.
Okay.
I love pastor. Pastor is my favorite taco. But with that quesadilla.
With pastor, with the pineapple or without?
No pineapple.
Oh, no.
No pineapple. This is not the pineapple type.
This is like the pastor.
Yeah.
Got it. A pastor quesadilla.
Mm-hmm.
Got
Amazing.
it.
Amazing.
Got it. Doña Elena.
Shout
out to Doña Elena. Every Tuesday?
Doña Elena. Every Tuesday. We're there. Every Tuesday. Taco Tuesday.
Okay, tomorrow's Tuesday. So thank you for that. And if you want to connect with Patrick, if you're a member, you're going to be able to connect with Patrick on our Culinary Business Network. But if you're not, or if you just want to add him on Instagram, right below we have his handles. And for those of you that are watching and haven't joined the network, remember, again, for less than $1 a day, you can join this wonderful network where you can connect, learn, and grow. And for members, you can check out our learning library. This will be posted also, again, in the network. We have office hours coming up, and next, the following week, we're going to be talking to a food truck owner that has gone from food trucks to universities and stadiums. So there's a lot of really good opportunities for food truck owners. You don't have to stay in your food truck. You can grow and still keep your food truck, but grow in other opportunities. Again, thank you so much, Patrick, for being here. And for all of you, stay connected, stay resourceful, keep serving with passion, and remember, you are not alone in this journey. When you thrive, we all thrive. So we'll see you all soon. Thank you so much. I was like, there's so many little things to toggle and thank you.